My last name is actually pronounced much differently where it comes from. It's Portuguese, but when I hit Ellis Island, my grandpa was like, it's Correia. Yeah.
I speak Portuguese.
Oh, you do? Yes.
I can't believe I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, it's Correia.
Correia.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Larry Correia, whatever you want to call him.
Correia is fine.
Now, so you write the Monster Hunter International series.
Yes.
You have your new one, Hard Magic. You're apparently a very big blogger that everyone follows. And I've seen you at several conventions now giving discussions on action and just things like that. So have I missed anything? Is that...
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I keep busy. I read a lot of books. I actually have four series going on right now.
Really?
So I've got the Monster Hunter series, the Grim Noir Chronicles.
That's the Hard Magic one?
Yep, that's Hard Magic. And then I have a thriller series that begins this year, Dead Six is the first novel.
Yes, I saw the art for that. Okay.
And then I have a science fiction series that I'm co-authoring with John Reed. And the Dead Six series is co-authored with a guy named Mike Cooper. So,
wow.
Yeah, and then I've got more coming after that, so.
Now,
it's been busy.
So especially at a place like this, I mean, you find authors that are, just e-publishing their short stories versus, the people that are bestsellers throughout the ages.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you get to this point where you are? Not necessarily like how did you first get published, but like what was your
I started out self-published, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of these guys here that are doing the e-publishing thing or the just trying to get their name out, I was there a few years ago.
Okay.
So I actually started out, I wrote a book, thought it was pretty good, tried to sell it, spent 2 years getting rejected by everybody in the business, pretty standard stuff. But I knew it was pretty good. I had a business background, I understood marketing, I understood markets. Okay. So I thought I could sell this, and so I self-published it, I promoted it myself, it actually did really good. Got on the Entertainment Weekly bestseller list, which for a self-published book is like, it don't happen. And then, so I got my publishing contract with Bain, and I've been with them ever since.
So you got your thing with Bain specifically because you'd self-published and done so well?
Big independent bookstore back east. It's in Minneapolis. It's Uncle Hugo's. Big independent store, huge. And they really, really liked it. So the owner of this, one of the biggest selling bookstores in the country, calls up my publishing house before I knew them and said, "Man, you guys gotta buy this book. You're stupid if you don't buy this book. I can totally sell the crap out of it." And she's like, "All right, let me see it."
That is brilliant.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And so that's how I met my publisher, and she liked it, accepted it, and I don't think she thought it was going to do as good as it did. I didn't think it was going to do as good as it did. Actually, because I thought it was kind of a niche little action monster gun nut book, and I thought it would do okay. But it went national. It went through 4 printings in our first year, and blew up huge. Sequel was New York Times bestseller, did really well. We just recently, I can now officially announce, we've sold the rights for a TV show. Nothing's gone into production yet because Hollywood's weird like that, but it has been optioned by a really big production company, and so we'll see what happens.
All right, now I feel really small right now.
Well, I'm tall.
Well, there's that too, but
I might not be the best author, but I'm one of the tallest.
Oh, but that is. See, that's just the kind of stories that everyone wants to happen to themselves.
Yeah, I have to actually do some other projects that are related to some of the book stuff. Well, I've talked to some people in the recent past, some very good comic book people, about doing graphic novels based on some of the worlds that I've done, and just things like that, and just kind of expand the brand. I want to do because Monster Hunter International is a company in this fictional world, and I'm going to write an employee handbook of how to hunt monsters.
Have you ever heard of the actress Felicia Day?
Oh yeah, Felicia Day is awesome.
Because I was just listening a little while ago to her on the new Mediacracy podcast talking about that, about what she's done specifically, because she self-published her thing, is because she has the rights, she can expand into the comic books, she can expand, and those story expansions, and that was her big thing about the future of stories, is this story architecture, as you put it, making a world that can expand everywhere. So that's what you're...
Well, and sometimes, if you set out, every writer wants to create a world, and every now and then you get lucky, and really, because if the world sticks, is all up to the fans. It's all how much the fans take it and like it and have ownership in it and feel like they can belong to it. Because when you get that, then it grows without you. I call it the Monster Hunter Nation. I love my fans, and they're rabid, they're hardcore awesome. And these guys, I've got people playing Monster Hunter role-playing games, homemade ones. There's one going on at the con today. I've got.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we do contests where people make patches for their hometown monster hunting teams. And these people just are a lot of fun, and I've gotten all sorts of cool things. I had some guy, one of the characters in Monster Hunter had a Monster Hunter International logo Zippo lighter. He's a heavy smoker. So somebody made one and sent it to me. You know, the fans are awesome, and they like this world that I created because they feel like it's a world that they could relate to and belong to and excel at.
Well, I love it. Even like the back of your book, it says, it turns out that every story, myth, and B-movie villain is real.
Yeah. And how do you take care of that for fun and profit? We just turned it into a business, and a lot of these guys are like, I wrote this expecting to sell it to an audience, a small audience of, originally I marketed through internet gun forums. And that's how I started out. I was writing fiction online. And
For gun forums?
Yeah, for gun forums, a bunch of business. What it was is if you're a gun guy, in my background, I'm a firearms instructor. Okay, military contracting, firearms instructor, used to be a gun dealer. And so, and I'm also a horror movie nut. I'm a horror movie nut. I love horror movies. So if you watch a horror movie though, and you know anything about tactics or combat or anything, and you watch a horror movie, most horror movies would be over in the first 5 minutes if you had a close protagonist with a gun. It'd be like, there's a monster, shoot the monster, roll credits, movie's over. So I wanted to write something
really boring, but that would be a great take on the genre.
Well, so I wanted to write something about my people. I wanted to take the competent, well-armed, take care of business people. But it's like, how do you do that? It was like, we make it a business. And so you just have to make more monsters and bigger monsters.
So like, when you're writing fiction for gun forums, you just like post it on a.
I did. Well, in fact, the thriller that's coming out later this year, Dead Six, I wrote with Mike Cooper. First time I ever met Mike in person was after we'd already written the story together.
Okay.
Because he was writing this online fiction thing on a website called The Highway. And so he's writing this, and it's this. He was over in the Middle East for a while, and he came back and he wrote this highly fictionalized, super awesome version of life in Qatar. And so he's writing this story, and I was an aspiring writer at the time, and Monster Hunter hadn't come out yet. And I looked at that and I said, hey man, do you mind if I jump in with you? Because he's writing from this one person's perspective. I thought I'd just write one scene from another person's perspective in the same area. And I did. And everybody on this forum was like, dude, that's awesome. Keep going. Wow, are you guys working together? And so I emailed him and I was like, hey, do you mind? He's like, no, feel free. And so we just started writing the story together. We wrote it over the entire summer. Had a beginning, middle, end, great plot by just the seat of our pants. Two different first-person protagonist narrators trying to murder each other.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
It just came out great. So this is several years ago before my writing career took off. We took that little thing we wrote on the internet, we more than doubled it in size and polished it up a lot. Now it's coming out as an actual novel from a major publishing house.
So all this and the seven-state tour that you said you did?
Yeah, I just got back from a 7-state tour. That was brutal.
You just have the most fun writing career I have ever heard about.
Well, I do stay busy. I work hard. It's 2 weeks in the car with my wife. Well, actually, the week before I went to Minnesota, did some stuff there, and then I came back and we did some sightings in Utah. We went to Phoenix, Arizona. We went to San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Spokane, Boise, and home. 80 bookstores, 9 events, 4,800 miles. I got one a little while ago that was kind of awesome. There's a university, and I cannot for the life of me remember what school it is, and they sent me a photograph. And what it was is this school, they were doing this big zombie game where you had, you wore a bandana with your team color and logo on it, and then if you everybody had Nerf guns, and then you would shoot the zombies in the head, and that would stop them for a while. But if the zombie got you, then you had to take your bandana off your arm and put it on your head. Or no, you had to flip the bandana upside down, is what it was.
And then you were a zombie?
Then you were zombies. And they played this for weeks at this university. And it just is confusing. They had certain rules, like not after certain hours, not in certain buildings,
Yeah,
so you can still go to college. But these guys
would hold in children.
Yeah, I would hope. But they did. There was a Monster Hunter team, and so I got this photo. There's like 20 people wearing bandanas on their arms with the Monster Hunter International logo on their thing. So they did it at MHIT. And it was like, that is the coolest thing ever. Well, I love getting I love getting things. I have a lot of military readers. I've done really well with military readers. #1 book of the USS Ronald Reagan last year. That was cool. Yeah, but we
I didn't even know that was a list.
well, it's not. It's just one bookstore shipped so many books of mine to the Ronald Reagan Carrier Battle Group. Well, and then I got a picture the other day of a guy, or no, this is last year, who was a door gunner in a Black Hawk with a Monster Hunter patch on his helmet.
Well, that is
Hanging,
amazing.
I got other ones with guys, riding the turrets of up-armored Humvees. I had one guy leading on the air defense cannon in Baghdad.
Tell me you have these up on like your blog.
Oh yeah,
I
as soon as I
see.
get them. I've gotten a few where unfortunately the pictures were too small. I couldn't get them. I had one where it was a pilot and his air crew were flying the Bengals cheerleaders into Baghdad, and they're wearing Monster Hunter patches on their flight gear. But that one was too small; wouldn't fit on the, wouldn't go up. I love these, and people send these to me from all over the world, and I just have fun with them. Yeah, I get a kick out of it.
I don't think I have anything else really to ask you. You just told me that your life is awesome, your universe is awesome. It's like, yeah.
Well, with these guys, I used to joke that before I made the New York Times, I never thought I'd make the New York Times.